All right, guys. So when it comes to enhancing sleep, one trick that you all know that I've been trying to get you to do for a while now is mouth taping. And let me just pause. I didn't invent this. I didn't create this. I give all the credit to Dr. Mark Berhenne, a personal friend of mine. I'll show you a picture right here. We went skiing with his daughter and we had a great time just talking about mouth tape, talking about sleep. And so it's been a few years since we launched those videos. It's been now over 3.5 years since I've been doing mouth taping pretty much every single night. And I've even gotten this little 7-year-old on the mouth taping kick, right? She's a little quiet. Someone is home for summer break, but just wanted to share with you guys a few things that I've learned, some of the feedback that I've gotten. And since many of you are parents, I just want to plug, I have no financial affiliation with the Myobrace, but it's been a game changer for my daughter's dental health. So essentially what it is, it's a device that helps children learn how to breathe properly through their nose while they're sleeping. And it entrains the proper tongue position. I'm not an expert in this area. Definitely follow Dr. Mark Berhenne over at Ask the Dentist. Many other people at Butoko Breathing Technique have talked a lot about it. But tongue position influences mouth and the oral facial development. And so the Myobrace, for you parents that are considering braces, have children with teeth that need alignment, this has been super helpful. Can you just smile? Okay, smile real quick. So, small plug. Again, I'm not getting paid by Myobrace at all. Just want you all to understand it connects with the mouth taping and the nasal breathing. Is my daughter's teeth have dramatically straightened and there was a lot of crowding and literally no kidding in just 60 days of doing the Myobrace, and we do the mouth taping on top of that because we found as she was relearning, and we've done mouth taping off and on for a while, but really what helped the 6-year-old when we first got the Myobrace is taping with the Myobrace help prevent the Myobrace from falling out. She was waking up a lot more refreshed, her teeth were straightening, so it was really unique. So that's kind of on the children's side. Let's talk about the adults. You know, I'm hearing so many great things from the mouth tape. And first of all, what mouth tape do I suggest? There's a few different products out there. You can start with the SomniFix. They were a podcast sponsor of ours for a long time. Great people. Nicholas was actually recently on Shark Tank. I can link below or above here. And what's unique is some people were kind of saying that, you know, mouth taping, nasal breathing is a bunch of hogwash. And then once it got on Shark Tank, a lot of people were kind of then realizing that this wasn't just some kooky thing that I was talking about for all these years, that there is some evidence for this, and it inspired some of the investors like Mark Cuban and others. So the SomniFix is great to start because that has a little pierce in between the lips so that when you're first getting into this, it can feel a little intimidating. When you put the mouth tape on, you kind of feel claustrophobic. What happens? You know, these thoughts go through your mind. What if I need to sneeze? What if I regurgitate? What if I have to speak to my spouse? Whatever. And so having that pierce adds a little comfort because you can still breathe a little bit through your mouth. Now, I and Dr. Mark Berhenne, it was funny, I brought this on our ski trip. And I didn't know that he also liked the 3M micropore sensitive tape. Links are below and I'll just kind of hold it here for you guys. I think it's specifically on the package, it says 3M Nexcare micropore tape. Why do I like this? Well, you can tear this off with your hand. So look, I have no scissors, rip it off like that. Here's a little pro tip, all right? So obviously it's bright in here because we're filming, but I use this at night so that I can see, okay? My family's usually asleep before I am. I'm reading in the sauna, doing things. I come into bed and I put this on and I can just quickly put it on like that. It comes off very readily. And so this is a nice way to go, this mouth tape. And so links are below here for the 3M Nexcare tape. I'll also put a link here. This is just like a hiking headlamp, but it has a red light. So this is a Petzl. I'll put a link to Amazon. So this red light is nice because it's not this really bright white blue light LED. So it's nice to have. I have a little travel kit of all my sleeping tools here. And so, you know, just the point of this video is to let you know that obviously mouth tape is helpful, but your evening routine and exposure to light and even something like a gravity blanket that'll link to another video, all these things are part of the sleep puzzle. Because, you know, I think a lot of people, they're trying, say, a CBD spray for sleep, or they're trying different things and they realize like, wow, that didn't work. But there's all these other elements that you need to do every single night consistently to enhance your sleep. And having all these routines also helps your body realize that it's time to go to bed. Because sometimes, our routines are off. We're going out and socializing, we're drinking, we're eating late, we're working late, and so we're not giving our body the same consistent messages and signals. So I think it's very important, friends, that you add some regularity and consistency. And we've been talking about this for a while, thanks to folks like Matthew Walker, the book Why We Sleep. He talks a lot about routines and how routines are essential. And so, some of these products that I mentioned here and also the mouth taping can help with that. And if we haven't yet talked about the physiology in this video of the mouth taping, as I've learned through interviewing various people, Dr. Mark Berhenne, Stasha Gomenik, the physiology, the neurophysiology of mouth taping is this, very succinctly. Okay, when you're dreaming, specifically when you're in REM sleep, what happens is the central nervous system input to your muscles is inhibited. Why, how, who, what, why? I don't know all the physiology of this. This is just sleep physiology. Now, if that is going on, so imagine then the central nervous system input to the muscle tone of your tongue, if that's inhibited and you're breathing through your mouth, your tongue collapses your airway. And that causes periodic, albeit brief, moments of hypoxia, where there's a dearth or lack of oxygen. That creates little apneas. And so it's on this spectrum. So if you think of sleep disorder breathing on a spectrum of sleep apnea, so you have normal nose breathing here, you have sleep apnea over here. Sleep disorder, it's a spectrum. It's not like you go from great, nasal breathing, no sleep disorder breathing to sleep apnea overnight. It's a spectrum. And kind of in the middle here is this mouth breathing where you get in these periodic moments of hypoxia due to the central nervous system inhibition of the muscle tone. This is where the mouth tape comes in. So that when you're in deep and or REM sleep and your brain is properly going through these cycles, it doesn't matter, if your tongue is inhibited, the muscular tone that is of your tongue is inhibited because you're breathing through your nose. So that's the physiology. It's not suffocation. It's not torture, as some people have accused me of doing on Instagram. This is just a tip. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this for your kid. You can let your kid mouth breathe their entire life, but I will tell you that you're going to spend a lot more money on orthodontics and dental care, and it may even affect their facial structure, as Dr. Mark Berhenne and Stephen Lin and others have talked about. So that's the physiology. That's kind of how it works. The remedy is very simple. Now, a common question comes up, and people say, so if I've been, mouth taping for 3 months, do I need to do it forever? And here's my response to that is I think it really depends on the person. For me, I get prone to like nasal congestion and sinus congestion, right? As you might be able to tell right now. So I mouth tape every night. Like I've probably, since Dr. Mark Berhenne introduced this to me in 2016, May of 2016, I probably skipped 4 or 5 nights in that last 3-year span, as a function of just like when I'm traveling, I couldn't find my tape or I didn't bring it or something, or I ran out, something like that. In a pinch, by the way, I've used Band-Aids, I've used duct tape, I've used all kinds of stuff because it really works for me. But if you're the type of person where you were breastfed, you were not C-section delivered, you were birthed vaginally, maybe you grew up on a farm, you ate a lot of real food, you never had antibiotics, things like that, maybe you don't need to mouth tape, or maybe you need to mouth tape for only a couple months and your neurophysiology will renormalize and so forth. But for me personally, I probably went for 34 years of mouth breathing, and so therefore I'll probably need to do this for a long time to rebalance my neurophysiology. So that's, again, I'm not the expert on this. There's very minimal cost, very minimal exposure to chemicals using these things. So this is like a 2-year update video on doing this for a while. I'm pleased to say it's catching on. I'm pleased to say that a lot of parents are recognizing this and doing this for their children. And I would just mention, a lot of nights, our daughter does sleep in our room, and she's been doing that, for a long time. And so that's why we feel comfortable as parents taping her mouth, is because she's right there. I know some of you have multiple story homes and your kid is way off in the distance. I, as a parent, probably wouldn't feel so comfortable knowing that my child has their mouth tape and they're, on the other side of the house. So I couldn't hear them. I couldn't respond to them quickly. But, we like to sleep together and so forth. And so she mouth tapes, and I feel totally comfortable with that. All right. So I think we covered most of the topics in an update, kind of a 3-year update. It's a game changer, guys. It costs very little money, and it can powerfully enhance your sleep. And most importantly, you need to test your sleep. So if you're not yet using sleep tracking like Sleep Cycle, the free app on your phone, or the Oura Ring, links are below. You got to track your sleep, guys, because you don't even realize how good or bad your sleep is until you actually start to quantify this. So hope you give mouth taping a try. Hope you just have an open mind to this process and realize that it's not torture. It's just a way to kind of rebalance your physiology that is probably screwed up from lack of exposure to good microbes, lack of duration of breastfeeding, cesarean section birthing methods and so forth, which are unnatural. So that's about it on mouth taping and the Myobrace, things like that, friends. So I would love to know how mouth taping has improved your sleep quality. Things, what feedback you have, in terms of like, have you had your child mouth tape or not? I follow the comments below, guys. I learn from you, we learn from each other, so that's part of why we put out these videos, so that we can grow more awareness on enhancing sleep and strategies to do so. So we'd love to know your feedback. If you enjoyed this video, as always, please hit that like button. If you're not yet subscribed, you gotta do so, because we launch videos like this and also interviews with experts like Dr. Stasha Goldman, Stephen Lin, Dr. Mark Berhenne, and others. So you got to subscribe so you get updated when we launch those videos. So we'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate you tuning in. Say adios.
Bye.
Bye.